Greetings, cocktail aficionados. It's John Moser with another edition of Cocktails Out of Quarantine. It's the holiday season. Christmas is almost upon us. I love Christmas. I thought it would be appropriate to show you how to make a drink that is associated with Christmas. And what better thing to make than eggnog? Except we're not going to do full-blown eggnog. A couple of years ago, I made, like 3 or 4 years ago at least, I made a big jug of eggnog. It was a great recipe, and I was very happy with how it turned out. There were two problems with it. One thing, it took a long time, and there was a lot of advanced preparation. That wasn't so bad. The real problem was it made a lot. We had a little get-together, not much of it got consumed. I'm the only one in the house who likes eggnog. My wife and my daughter, neither one of them can stand it. So we ended up with a whole lot of eggnog, and too much of it got thrown out. So I'm not going to do that. What I'm going to make today is called Tricknog, and it was developed at a bar in San Francisco called Trick Dog, and it's a trick because it is made differently from your traditional eggnog. No advanced preparation, and the recipe makes 2 drinks. One for me now and one for me later, I suppose. But we're not going to be making, a gallon or 2 of it like I did last time. So Tricknog is what it's called. I'm going to show you how to make it, but first I'm going to show you what you're going to need in order to make it. All right, to make our Tricknog, let's start with the alcohol. Whiskey. We're going to use this Heritage Bourbon that comes from the MLH Distillery in Grove City, Pennsylvania. Good friends of mine make terrific liquor there. If you ever find yourself in Western Pennsylvania, about an hour and a half north of Pittsburgh, check them out. They've got a great cocktail bar too, where you can try the stuff that they sell. Cherry Heering. You get a little cherry taste in this. I'm so excited to have another opportunity to use Cherry Heering. I got a bottle of it first to make a drink called Remember the Maine, which I featured on here some time ago. A delicious drink, but I don't make a lot of them, so as my wife will tell you often happens, we end up with a huge number of bottles for things that I use once and never use again. So here we have another opportunity to use Cherry Heering, and it's good because it's delicious. We are going to use some fresh orange juice. So I've cut this nice, lovely navel orange in half. A little bit of heavy whipping cream. Of course, it's eggnog. There's going to be some dairy there. Not a whole lot. And then we are going to use a whole egg. Another benefit of this recipe, unlike traditional eggnog, you don't need to separate the eggs and prepare them separately. The whole egg is going to go inside. And then, garnish-wise, we're going to top with some nutmeg. Yeah, I really should use fresh ground nutmeg. I just don't want to be that busy, so I'm just going to sprinkle a tiny bit of this on the top. I'm going to use a cinnamon stick. Penzeys, about the best. And I'll use an orange twist, which I'll just get off the same orange I showed you. So those are the things you're going to need in order to make the drink. Now, oh, wait a minute, I forgot one thing. Brown sugar syrup. It's easy enough to make, 1-to-1 ratio. I use Demerara sugar and water, bring it to a boil, stir it for a few minutes, and it's ready to go. I have a little jar of it just for this purpose. So brown sugar syrup plus all the things I just mentioned, those are the ingredients. Let's make the drink. All right, let's start making our Tricknog. We have here an empty shaker. We're not going to start with ice. Eventually we'll put ice in here, but because we're using raw egg, we want to start with no ice. All right. Ooh, put that too far away. We're gonna do, remember, this is enough for 2 drinks, so it's not terribly alcoholic. They're gonna be 2.5 ounces of bourbon, which of course divided in half, that's less than you would get in an ordinary drink. 2.5 ounces of this wonderful Heritage Bourbon from our friends at MLH Distillery. And then a very small amount of Cherry Heering. A teaspoon, but I'm just going to splash it in there. That's about right. Just eyeballed it. And it's our Cherry Heering, 1 teaspoon of that right in there. And now we want a 1/2 ounce of fresh squeezed orange juice. Here. And this is going to be a little bit messy because this thing is large, but we easily get a half an ounce of orange out of it. Next is our heavy cream. Half an ounce of the heavy cream. Brown sugar syrup, about a 1/4 ounce of that. There we go. And finally, our whole egg. I'm going to break the egg in here first. You know, once in a while you get a bad egg. And if at this stage you get a bad egg and throw it in there, you've got a ruined drink. So, it's probably not a bad egg. Look at it. There's nothing at all wrong with that egg, but still, better be safe than sorry. Put our whole egg in. Doesn't look appetizing now, does it? Well, trust me, it will. So we're going to start by giving this a good long shake. We're going to shake this for quite some time, right? We've got to get all this stuff properly mixed together. And I'm going to say at least 30 seconds, probably closer to a minute even. And once we're done with that, we're going to open it up, we're going to put ice in it, and then we're going to keep shaking. That's very important to do with egg if you want to get a good consistency. But it's kind of boring for you to sit and watch me shake, so I'm going to pause. All right, I've shaken this for a good long time. I think things are well blended. So be careful opening this because there's a lot of gas that gets built up in there. Now I'm going to add ice. And we don't need to shake it a whole lot at this point because really it's right now, we're just looking to finish it and get it nice and cold before we pour it into our glass. All right, here we got this beautiful Nick and Nora glass, very festive looking, very appropriate. Okay. One more shaker. Now remember, this makes 2, so I'm gonna fill this up, and there's still gonna be some left, which I will put away for later because I'm the only one who's gonna drink it. Look at that color. It looks and it smells exactly like eggnog should, which is a good thing, right? Okay, so now we will finish it off with a little bit of nutmeg on the top. And then a cinnamon stick. Oh, how pretty is that? And finally, we're going to give it a little bit of color with an orange twist. And to make the orange twist, I'm just going to cut a thin slice of orange peel. That's enough. And then I'm going to trim it down a bit to make it pretty. Okay, see what I'm doing here? Hold on a second, let me move things around so you can see it. All right, here it is. Slice it along this side. Slice it along this side. There we go. Doesn't need to be perfect, but just a little bit attractive. We are going to give that a little bit of a twist here. That expresses some of the oils into the drink. And then we will place it right on the side. Wow, this is one of the prettiest drinks I think I've ever made. Ladies and gentlemen, here is Tricknog. Let me give it a taste. Cheers. Oh, that's really good. See, if you don't have the time to make the eggnog and you don't want to make a huge quantity, try Tricknog for the holidays. Hey, I want to say a word of appreciation for all of you who watch these videos. I really am happy that this has taken off like it has, and I am hoping that all my fans have a wonderful Christmas and New Year's, and I will see you next year. Cheers.